Welcome. Welcome to this special BTO talk on AI, digital transformation, AI leadership, and more. It has been a while since we were actually here live, and it's great to be back. My name is Michael Alf, now calling back again from Lisbon, and I'm joined by my two co-founders. Over to Europe.
Yeah, so Rob Thurner here in London. Great to see you two again on this live session. I'm working with business schools and clients on their digital transformation journeys. Of course, a big focus on GenAI, and we'll be looking at some of the big challenges they're all facing, the feedback we're getting as we go through our session today. And let me hand over now to Markus.
Thank you very much, Rob and Michael. Markus Keiper, professor at the National University in Singapore for marketing, and together with my two lovely co-partners, the founder of Beyond the Obvious. And we really help organizations to get ahead in the game of AI and generative AI. So, Michael, we haven't been live for a couple of weeks because all three of us have been traveling a lot, and we will share some of our live customer and client insights with you today. But before we do that, has the world of technology also been taking a break over the last couple of weeks, Michael?
Yes, of course, kind of a total break. No, I think there's so much happening, it's almost too much to handle. But it's fascinating to see kind of how all three of us were actually working with and serving clients in so many countries and industries. I think it's really kind of nice to see from Australia, Asia, Middle East, and Europe in all kind of countries. So it's really exciting. Back to the tech news. There's a lot happening again. Not only the incredible results of NVIDIA from yesterday, much better than expected, which clearly indicates kind of the buying frenzy continues. Is there a hype? Probably there's some hype, but it's also underhyped in some instances. What we see on the model side is big news. So OpenAI came out with the model 5.0 and yet just recently 5.1. The 5 model, significant improvement again in some areas. 5.1 is a significant speed improvement. Yeah, so you get your results a lot faster. Really interesting how the models keep on getting better. And the other one, and I think that's just from yesterday, so I have not had kind of time to actually test that, is Gemini with the 3.0. 2.5 was already really good in some instances. I mean, we use it especially for in the image recognition area and things like that. And 3.0 seems to be kind of a big step forward as well. So there's clear development in the models. The main area is impacted because the text creation itself can't, I mean, there's not a lot to further improve. But the whole deep research, deep thinking, autonomous acting, kind of agents, images, and videos, these are the areas which are now impacted because they are more complex. So that in a nutshell, and we thought, and we discussed that when we prepared, it might be a good idea that we go a little bit deeper, and we'd like to invite you in the next couple of weeks for a webinar. You will see the invite here, and we'll actually share the link then in probably the next live, and then we can actually answer your questions and have a more interactive discussion.
So one question, Michael, is there are some browsers now, AI browsers like Atlas and Comet and so on. Tell us, what do you think of them?
Yeah, that's one of the questions we could discuss. Saying I don't share too much. Look, it's something new. So if you are an early adopter, it might be for you, for others, maybe less so. But let's kind of deep dive a little bit more in the webinar. What do you think, Markus?
I think that's a good idea because any short answer would have been not justifying what's going on in this field. All right. Rob, you have been traveling a bit as well, and like all three of us, you have been meeting a lot of clients. What's the sense you're picking up from your regions and the clientele you're talking to?
I think the sense is, Markus, and of course this is shifting all the time. The sense is that of course, GenAI is not optional. We've got to do it. There are more and more experiments. Remember, it wasn't long ago, the MIT report showing that 95% of these experiments are not delivering the results that are expected. I'm not sure the results of that are as well grounded, but the point is absolutely there. So the challenge I'm getting, I was doing some work with one of the banks in Saudi recently, and I'm preparing a session for one of the 4 big consulting firms, is, okay, we know the capabilities are getting more and more developed, but the real question is, if we're wanting to develop solutions for our customers, if it's the bank, or for our clients, if it's a consulting firm, what is our real relevance? How do we stay relevant, and how do we stay indispensable? And that's where the battle seems to be there. So we need to stay up to speed and understand how to be deploying AI in the right ways and make sure that our value, the value we're bringing, if I'm a consultant, it's how I'm interpreting this data. It's how I'm building trust with my client so they continue to need me, rather than see, we've seen that McKinsey, a large number of other consultancies, are reducing their workforce. What is it, what's our real value there? And I think that interpretation and bringing the human value is the big challenge that clients are wanting to get to grips with, and being clear about how that retains their relevance and their indispensability over time. So that's what I'm hearing. Michael, how does that feel to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I can just mirror what you're saying. Is, I think in the last 12 months, there was this shift towards nobody really needs to be convinced that it is relevant, especially on the, let's say, CEO level. Not everybody in an organization thinks the same, but more and more people. And of course, a lot of the, let's say, younger people, many of them are very open, but also not all of them. So it's not it's a generalization. There is not all the young people are open and all the old people are not open. That's not the case, definitely not. But the management, the responsible management, of course, has attended now various courses, went to MIT for sessions and whatever. So all that stuff, read some McKinsey reports and so on. So everyone gets kind of the idea of this is relevant. I think we are now in that next phase, kind of really to lay the foundation, because that's what I'm seeing in my workshops with very different clients from all kind of industries, all different sizes, that there is no common ground, no kind of same level of understanding, and also some faulty understanding. Even the basics of AI and generative AI are sometimes not understood. Where people are really, it's eye-opening in terms of the workshops kind of we are doing for them to say, oh, now I really get it. Now I really understand it. And so I think that's one. So setting kind of that level field across an organization, and then because they recognize how fast the change is, then the question is always like, well, that's great, I have a better understanding, but how do I keep up to date?
Yes, that's a big one.
So Markus, what do you think?
Yeah, that's a biggie. And to be honest with you, I don't know how to keep up myself. And I know that you guys struggle as well. So dear listeners, if you feel like, how can it be that these 3 guys on this podcast know everything? We don't. And we don't even pretend to, because whilst we are sitting here, probably TikTok, YouTube, and other channels have been flooded with news, which we have to catch up as well. So one big topic I heard, gents, is how do we keep up? The next one is, how do we select the right solution for us? And again, there is no clear answer, because if it was a clear answer, this one product would be a unicorn and all the others would die, but many products will survive at the same time. One clear message I heard over the last couple of weeks in the Asia Pacific market in particular is that AI and Gen AI is a topic in every boardroom. In every boardroom, everyone discusses it. That might not be true for family-owned businesses. So let's really distinguish here. But if you are in a large business and you are planning to grow fast in the future, AI, Gen AI is a topic you need to discuss. Now, at the same time, gentlemen, I saw a third topic coming up, and that is the ethics and the fairness of AI in the future. Some people say, don't trust AI, they steal everything from you, and others say, if you don't go into AI, you will not have a future. So I guess we will discuss that in the future as well. We have three different opinions. Sometimes we argue with each other as well. So look out for this. But I think this topic is important, but it will never replace the one topic, and that is AI will not go away. And we have been saying this for 16 months now, I believe, 18 months. And the solutions are getting better and better and easier to apply. Michael, would you agree that many of these solutions become actually more user-friendly as well?
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's the nature also of things like vibe coding and so on, which actually brings a lot of additional challenges and risks to a company as well. Yeah, so because kind of employees can do now pretty much everything. Yeah, so how do you kind of manage that, control that, or lead that? Yeah, so on the different levels. But it's also a risk that I see that some managers say, okay, well, we have Copilot, so we solved our AI problem. So this is kind of course, not the case. Yeah. So if you remember, we shared this kind of 3 stages in one of our both webinars and here podcasts, lives, and kind of the idea, personal productivity, process improvement, innovation. And this is missing in a lot of these conversations. The Copilot is largely on the personal productivity front and not the process improvement. It's gray, of course, but in principle. Yeah, so you need to have a different, more qualified discussion. But because of that rush into AI, there's a tendency that, to your point, Markus, what you said is like, well, we have a solution, we have Copilot. And by the way, this kind of brings me to another message from Microsoft. So Microsoft decided that from, I think, March on, Copilot is included for free in the subscription to Office 365. That's a massive shift, which brings its own challenges and risks, of course.
Absolutely.
Because suddenly everyone has kind of access to kind of Copilot, and therefore both OpenAI and Anthropic in behind. But of course, that brings a lot of additional risks. And this is, I think, something we want to address. How do leaders handle that? How do we kind of deal with it? How do they manage and lead their team? So, Rob, any thoughts on that one? Because I think that's really a shift.
I think it's really interesting. Is this one tool or another? Of course, no. It depends on what you're looking to do. I saw had a very interesting podcast the other day looking at the relative strengths of GenAI compared with, which is seen as the all-rounder. You know, once it's been trained up, once capable of so many different functions. Then we look at Claude being seen as a very good wordsmithing and coding tool. You mentioned earlier the advances in Gemini, and then the DeepSeek and the Chinese. So strengths in different areas. I think one of the big challenges that comes again and again is, well, where do I get started? And you said you need the pressure just to do something. There's still feedback I'm getting from the banks I'm talking to that there's a nervousness because there's a lack of confidence that we should be unlocking GenAI on our customer-facing experiences. Instead, let's start by building that confidence and building that usage on internal processes. This is the stuff which isn't very exciting, but it can generate quick results, significant cost savings, with very low risk, because if it does go wrong, you've only got your internal processes. You're not dealing with any reputational risk with customers. So I think that's an area which can help to accelerate usage, but being very clear about the right use case is critical, rather than just being pushed into using a tool because you feel you should be doing that and conducting a function which doesn't have yet the support of the whole organization and the board behind you. So getting started, Markus, and as we wrap up today, any closing thoughts on where we should be focusing our efforts?
Yeah, I think it's a paradox to have a closing thoughts on a topic like AI and Gen AI. I think if you listen to us over the last couple of months in our almost every weekly podcast, you will see that we don't pretend to have all the answers, but we are asking a lot of questions. And I think, guys, what we can agree to is the answers are getting better and better. We are getting a lot of interesting developments in terms of technology, in terms of content, in terms of user friendliness. So if you find yourself still wondering around about should I go in more into AI, Gen AI or not, it actually becomes easier, but at the same time it becomes more complex because there is a vast landscape of different things. So I promise you that we will reveal a couple of ideas we have about it. And in particular, I'm looking forward to your tech workshop, Michael. Your last chance to announce that when that will happen.
I would say this year before Christmas.
Before the
You're
24th.
24, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so we'll announce the date. We'll share that here. We'll share that, by the way, in the WhatsApp group. So if you want to actually join the WhatsApp group, let me just, where is that? Here. We just put up again the QR code. So feel free to kind of scan that QR code on the head of Rob right now. And that takes you into the WhatsApp group, and we'll announce that there as well. Yeah, with that, I think good to be back here. And we are looking forward to your questions, to your input, to your ideas. And until then, stay safe and see you next week again.
Bye for now.
Bye.
All right.